Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police and Fire Departments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sergeant Brian Hubbard. When it comes to teaching kids how to stay out of harm's way and exercising good judgment in precarious situations, a parent's job is never done. The Edina Police, Fire, and Parks and Recreation Departments lend a hand by co-sponsoring an annual safety camp. During the day-long retreat, young campers learn about fire, personal safety, water safety, gun safety, animal safety, and much more.
We try to incorporate a lot of fun in with it. Without them knowing it, they're having fun and we're sneaking in a little safety education. And the kids really come away remembering safety camp. The lessons they take home obviously stay with them for a long time.
For parents whose kids cannot attend safety camp, there are a number of ways to give your children the tools and knowledge they need to keep themselves safe. When talking to your children, be age specific. Think about how a toddler may have different safety needs than a teenager. Keep the lines of communication open. Encourage children to keep you apprised of any perceived dangers at school or in the neighborhood. Tell kids that they can always call you and ask to be removed from a situation that makes them feel uncomfortable. Make sure your children have a safe haven to go to if you're not around or available. Examples are going to a neighbor's house or talking to a school counselor. Remember that personal safety also encompasses taking good care of oneself. Teaching your children healthy sleep and nutrition habits at a young age improves the likelihood of maintaining those practices into adulthood. Although most homeowners and renters have the foresight to purchase fire insurance, many have not adequately equipped their home to escape or combat fire should one occur. Nor have many thought about the steps they would take to get themselves and their loved ones to safety in such an event. Taking time to develop a responsive strategy in the event of a fire not only helps limit damage, but can also save lives. Let's go to Sergeant Aaron White, who is with Fire Inspector Brian Hanrahan, to talk about fire prevention strategies in the home.
Thank you, Brian. Today I'm joined by Fire Inspector Brian Hanrahan from the Edina Fire Department. Brian, thanks for being with us.
Good to be here.
And thanks for having us to your home to talk a little bit about home fire safety.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
It's an important topic and something you talk about quite a bit out in the community.
Yes, I get out to the schools and to block parties and we talk about some basic things, some very simple things that pretty much everybody can do without any special knowledge, make their home safer.
And when you talk about schools, that's a place everybody remembers lots of fire drills, fire escape plans, everything's taken care of. There's alarms, sprinklers, pretty safe place. But do we put enough thought into that safety at home is kind of the question today.
It seems that there is a gap where that doesn't seem to be as emphasized at homes as it should be.
So let's hit the basics first. We got a couple basics in front of us, some alarms. Tell us about what we should be doing with these.
Some very simple alarms that everybody should have. We have your very basic smoke alarm that should be in every bedroom and in the hallways, and carbon monoxide alarms. We would like to see those on every level of the house. Keep them up, make sure that they work, keep batteries in them, and test them. You know what's different about the smoke alarm as well as the carbon monoxide alarm, they sound differently. There's different a beep pattern for each one. So it's important to get to know what they are, what they sound like.
Sure. Change your batteries, but also, you know, if you've been in your home for 20 years, it might be time to replace the equipment.
Yes, generally they're good for about 10 years.
And so what about fire extinguishers? Should we have these in the home? If so, what kind? Where should I keep it?
Absolutely, I think it's a great idea. I've got one here just to show you guys on what they look like. Now this is a little bit bigger than what you would need or that I would expect to see in an average house, but this fire extinguisher is a dry chemical extinguisher, which means it's just filled with a fine powder and it's pressure charged. And what you would do if you do see a fire that you're looking to put out, you would just pull the pin out of the fire extinguisher and squeeze the handle, and then you just aim with this nozzle that comes off. Now there's an acronym with this that's pretty simple. It's PASS. So you pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep with the fire. Now one thing to remember with fire extinguishers, and if you do decide to have them in your home, they're a great thing to have. However, if you're uncomfortable using the fire extinguisher, you think the fire is too big, you should get out of the house and call 911. Don't ever put yourself in a bad situation.
Sure, great advice. I mean, we don't want people to get hurt or make property damage worse by delaying getting out, calling 911. So good advice there. And brings us to maybe a really important point that you got a plan to get out of these houses, right?
Yeah,
Tell us about escape planning.
Absolutely. Yeah, great segue. Like we talked about a little bit earlier, that you have these fire escape drills in schools. There's fire emergency plans or emergency plans that are on the back of your hotel room doors, or cabins, or resorts, things like that. It's also good to practice these sorts of drills at home, because we're at home most of the time, right? Make sure that all your windows work, you know how to operate them. Doors, make sure all your doors work. There isn't a key in the door. It's a quick operation that you can get out of the door. Know the different ways that you could get out of your house, be it a window, an egress window, a front door, sliding glass door. Just get to know all the different ways that you could get out of your house. Plan that. Share that with your children, share that with your family members, so when an emergency does come up, it's second nature. Everybody kind of knows what to do.
Absolutely, and especially with kids, practice, right?
Yes, practice.
So, very good. Well, some basic things we talked about today, but important reminders, stuff we should be thinking about. Fire safety in the home, always important.
Yes, thank you for coming out and giving me the opportunity to share these with you guys.
Thank you, Brian. That's Brian Hanrahan. He's fire inspector with the Edina Fire Department, and we'll return to Brian in the studio.
Thank you, Aaron. We all know that seatbelts save lives, and buckling ourselves in is a straightforward task. But properly securing a child into a vehicle usually requires more effort. Many times, the use and proper installation of a child passenger restraint system are not clearly understood by those transporting children. The Edina Police Department encourages you to take the time to properly install your child's car or booster seat. Adults are also reminded that wearing a seatbelt is not optional. On behalf of my co-host, Sergeant Aaron White, and the City of Edina's Public Safety Team, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge. Until next time, stay safe.